what memory is to man, history is to mankind. So how actually society really remembers, how a nation really remembers, how society gets its identity or a nation gets its identity is through the memory institutions, which are museums, libraries, and the archives. Term archivist is actually a very old term. It's new as a career, especially in India, but it has been there. Archives have been around. There were archivists who were preserving history, the documentary heritage, especially for us. An archivist is more responsible for the records. And when I say records, earlier it was only the paper records that actually the archivist was really responsible for. But now actually that scope is also quite changing. And now the collection also includes records, audio-video material, the digital material. Also, some of the artifacts are also now coming to the archives. So now there might be not really the great distinction, but yes, archives are more when the paper records really started. So archivists are responsible, for ensuring that the collection is well documented, the documentary heritage is well preserved, it is annotated, it is described properly, and it is also, if there are any damages, then whether it is conserved, how it is to be digitized. So all that is actually what the archivist is really responsible for. Actually, the course that is available at the National Archives, defines that they need actually the students from history, especially the postgraduates in history can actually appear for that diploma that National Archives offers in archival science. However, if you are interested in library information science, which is also very complementary to archival science because there are not many courses available in India, and there are very few institutions who offer post-graduation degree in archival sciences. There are no graduation courses, unfortunately, till now. But I think any field should be okay for graduation at least. But humanities I would prefer because you need that kind of a sensibility to be developed when you're dealing with the records. But if you want to be a conservator in the archives, then you can also pursue your science, and the chemistry is the subject that you can really go for, because conservation is all about chemistry and how you can preserve the documents by following the chemical processes. So there is a lot of science and technology involved over there. So humanities is something that would be preferred. But if you are a conservator, then you can also pursue science and then opt for these kind of specialized courses. But graduation, I think, can be in any discipline. For post-graduation, students may have to think about whether they can go for post-graduation in archival science, which is offered at some of the colleges. They can go for post-graduation. Library and information science, they can go for a graduation itself after 12. Because there are many leading universities in India which have library and information science. And there are some universities like SNDT University in Mumbai, they offer a module on archives as a part of library and information science. So if you're taking library and information science to pursue a career in archives, then yes, you can do the graduation. But there is no course at the graduation level which is available for the archival science. So you can do the humanities, any social sciences, I would say. And there should be a general interest in history and especially historical thinking, not just history, but you should be patient enough to go through those records, read them, and try to get as much as possible from them. So in that sense, I think humanities would help to create these kind of sensibility. But now with the digital, I think some of the information science skills are also very much necessary, because now we are handling digital records. So this is a completely different kinds of digital data management, and if people have done that, even those specialized skills would be in 5-10 years, or I think in next 5 years would be really very necessary. So actually you can be open to a lot of things, because in India it's still a dynamic field right now. But as far as courses are concerned, these are the courses that one can really opt for. And National Archives has even different certification short-term courses in archival administration, records management, care and conservation. So depending on the interest of any student, they can actually choose from these. And if they want to really be introduced, so we have in Mumbai, at least we have started the certificate course in archive management, which is just a month-long kind of a course, 60 weeks to 80 weeks, where they can at least be introduced and see to themselves that, whether they are interested in this kind of a field or they want to pursue. So yeah, so I think, and I would also tell students that when they are, doing their graduation in any subject, they can actually explore this field by doing internships with different archives, so that they will know whether they really want to be in this field or no.
Right.
Usually it starts by responding to emails. I think that's something that I think all do, when you start your day, that what is there in your inbox. So basically we see to it that, if there are any queries for any records, because a lot of, company employees also start, also actually ask us about different kinds of records that they might need for their presentations or data analysis. Or even the brand teams actually need for PR or brand building activities. So there are lots of queries that keep coming. So that's something that I actually keep looking at, and then assign those queries to the cataloging team, which then actually goes through our catalogs and find the relevant data. And then of course I also supervise sometimes the repository management, because if there is a new collection coming in, whether there is a proper space for that, that has to be assigned, how the records will be kept, if we have enough of archival material to store that kind of a thing, because archival material is very important. Because when I say archival material, these are the acid-free folders and boxes that sometimes we have to plan for. I sometimes have to plan for the conservation with the conservation team, that if there are any damaged records, how actually we should be planning the conservation of that. So every year we also plan for digitization, that these are the important records that are mostly frequently asked for, so we prioritize them for the digitization. We also, if we are working on some, means every year we are working on some 3 pop-up exhibitions, so how actually we should go about it. So we start researching about those exhibition themes, then bringing out the relevant material, and then how actually to really curate and execute it, at a very smaller level. So every day actually has something new to offer, but it is basically, sometimes I'm writing for our web or whatever the PR queries that have come for. Sometimes, I will be actually checking and verifying the data. Sometimes the legal teams ask us, whether we can say this, historically, whether it is correct or not correct. So sometimes I'm verifying that data. And now actually, as an archives team, we are also part of the, almost for like last 17 years now, we are part of the regular induction that happens in the company. So whoever the new recruits come, we are now responsible for them to tell the story about the brand. And then we actually take them through the historical journey of Godrej, and just to create the sense of belongingness among them, that what they should know for which company now they are working for. Yeah, the major challenge is actually the approach people have towards history.
Right.
So even though we have been in this field for say 2 decades now, it is really very still difficult to convince people that why these records are really important, and they are to be sent to the archives. Because the perception that has been molded through, I think, schools or colleges is basically, it's about the past. So now actually the challenge was to how to tell this to the business guys who are always, futuristic, and they love talking about future. And then we have to really the challenge, from the early on was how to convince them that, how actually this activity is relevant for your future as well.